last time, we traveled into some kind of like demi-plane and had visions of various outer planes. Each one, the one represented by the weird chalk tattoos that we found on our bodies a while ago. And then we like became them, and it was really weird and pretty uncomfortable. And then we went into the crater and found this pinwheel-shaped city, or it used to be shaped like a pinwheel. It's in ruins now. We went into the city. Celera got a little too excited about this temple/fortress thing that we found, ran up the steps, and got shot with a crossbow trap. Oops. And after we dealt with that, we found a library. All the books are in Celestial, and none of us know Celestial because Cynian abandoned us. We camped the library. We had a little moment looking at the spells in the book, and it seems that one of them might be able to save Aelin from the impending death that he's been freaking out about. We had a little moment where our lightning magic boys roughhoused in the library where while Brandy and Celera went out into the hallway to talk about their feelings. And then we went to bed, and Celera took first watch, and she noticed a weird thing in the wall. There was like a bookshelf that was a little bit tilted away, and then she looked in there, and there was, yes, they also kissed. And then she pushed the uneven brick into the wall and accidentally opened up a doorway from whence a monster came. But Reesney just like one-shotted it, so...
No, you guys roughed it up a little bit.
And then we looked in after the thing was dead, and there was a dollhouse in there, so we don't know what that was, but it's there.
We've got a dead Snurson in the middle of the floor right here, and
oh yeah.
So
and that's what you missed on Glee.
As the creature falls, the smell of essentially burnt flesh fills the room, along with
ozone,
other unpleasant odors. As you look down, like this chamber that was once occupied, sort of like a small hallway that leads to a slightly larger chamber with a dollhouse on the center of it on a raised platform. All of this made out of stone.
Sorry. I didn't know it would do that.
Oh, it's quite alright. Stand back.
One of the bricks was uneven, and I tried to push it back in, and apparently it was not just a loose brick.
I'm not too sure that a brick pushes back so easily into place. Must have been a secret button.
I don't know much about bricklaying.
You didn't read any stories?
About bricklaying?
No, about, like, secret passages and stuff.
Oh, I know what secret passages are.
Yep.
It's an old library.
And you thought you could push a brick into place with all the mortar?
I don't know.
Everywhere else?
Am I supposed to know about bricklaying? I look at the others like, are you hearing this?
You should know enough about bricks that they don't push. Usually.
Careful, just kind of short.
This is news to me.
I'm so proficient in masonry trolls, I will tell you everything I know about it right now. I won't.
Well, you shall have to teach me about bricklaying later. Either way, I'm sorry about that, to have woken you up.
We must be careful. This appears to be some sort of secret chamber.
Probably on us for not finding this area beforehand.
Yes, we should have been more thorough.
Well, we can rest up. Did it hit any of you?
No?
No.
Fine. We can look into this room first and finish our rest, because I don't want to risk there being another a passage or anything into this place.
Of course. I could try to send my friend. Points to the cold angel in the corner.
What can it speak? Will it tell us what's in there?
No, but I can get an idea from it. He taps his temple.
All right.
It's kind of smart. If I try to, it can send me images, I guess, with its thoughts. So it's not like I'm seeing what it's seeing. It's just I'm thinking of what it's seeing.
It has thoughts?
No,
Is it
Not
sentient?
really. Hardly. It just kind of floats up and down in the corner every now and then, just exhaling a sigh of mist.
Solera eyes the cold spawn warily.
Here, this will help us at least. And she hold her hands up, and 4 flickering balls of flames appear in the air. She sends them into the room to light it up.
All right.
Do you want me to send it? It's kind of just from the staff, so it's not that hard to. It's not. It won't be missed if it dies. If
I
there's, like,
think that's a
trap or
good idea.
something. Okay.
Yes.
He'll form a mental link, just sending it thoughts of ice, and it probably just is annoyed as it just breezes past everyone and goes into the hallway. As it passes each of you,
All right.
if you stand too long, you feel very sluggish, as if like sort of like a sudden weight is added to almost your very soul, but then it passes once it leaves your vicinity.
Do I know how this thing works, DM?
Nope.
No arcana, just no.
I mean, it
It's
is a
not
spell.
something- yes, it is
Oh,
one that is
okay.
likely not taught in schooling, though. It's a bit.
Yeah.
It's different than conventional.
Cool.
So I'll just. Is it like a 10-foot wide hallway? Like, or
It's a 10-foot wide, 15-foot long.
Okay. Okay.
Before it reaches a 15-foot semi-spherical chamber. However, as you pass the 10-foot inward mark, you hear a voice. It is very guttural, and it is speaking a language that you cannot understand. It speaks on for about a minute before going silent once more.
It's not goblin. Gasp.
And it makes it into... do you continue pushing it in once that voice is heard?
Yes.
Alright. You make it into the chamber, and
Touch.
Back into the dollhouse.
it touches
Oh.
the dollhouse.
Yep.
It'll look and send the thought of the dollhouse to me.
Yep. I know this mic is picking up information.
The dollhouse is of a end mansion.
Ooh.
It's the stylization of it is akin to what you imagine the higher end housing of this city would have looked like in its heyday. It's somewhat foreign, yet it's still obviously a mark of aristocracy.
Ooh.
It's certainly a large house, and you can
A
see
fancy dollhouse.
Yes. On the front, there is a next to the door. The doorbell is rather large.
The doorbell to...
The dollhouse.
To the dollhouse.
Yeah.
It is.
Hmm.
It is
It's
like about the.
intractable.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Should I have it press that?
Do we know what doorbells are? Like, it's a like button
It
press?
looks like a button.
That's a good question.
Do we have button doorbells in Dalhava?
Do we
maybe
have
not in
elevators?
Valhalla, but in Eidolon, it's kind of only.
It's in
around
Tinko
Thordan,
Drawn.
I've never seen a button doorbell before. I don't know what this is.
Oh, in that case, push, touch.
But... you're pushing the button.
The cold spawn will, yeah.
All right.
Touch.
Yeet.
This is interesting. No, there's no reason why the
It's a
cold
creature,
spawn
yeah.
couldn't cast spells.
It can technically,
All right.
but It does not have spellcasting, but it could be. It is a creature,
Yeah.
which means it could be a spellcaster.
Oh, it can activate magic items.
Yes.
So it's a magic item.
Though it doesn't last long enough to attune to stuff because it only lasts an hour. But
All right.
But boop.
You see, as the doorbell is rung, there is a sequence of musical notes that lasts the span of a minute.
Ooh. Are we just standing there waiting for this, like, music to stop? Can we hear it?
On. Yeah, it echoes throughout the chamber into the library.
What does the music sound like?
It's similar to church bells.
What kind of church?
The ones with the ding dong, ding dong.
Is there like a specific god whose churches have those?
As far as you all know, this doesn't sound familiar or akin to any form of.
So that was for our benefit.
But after a minute, the dollhouse will disappear.
Oh.
And in its place, you see a sort of shimmering space that is about 5 feet wide and 10 feet tall.
Just like a cube of sparkles?
Not a cube. It's more
like a portal.
It could be.
Like I imagine, like it looks like a freaking like the portal.
Yeah.
It's like 2-dimensional.
It's not like a portal. It's like you can't see into anything on the other side, but it's there.
Like it's a 2D pane. You haven't set the other portal. Yeah.
And it's still somewhat opaque, or not opaque. It's still somewhat ethereal. You can still see through it. It's just like this sparkling mass that takes up this flat plane of space.
Do I know what this is?
Make an Arcana check.
Yay! Now I get to make an Arcana check. I will happily make an Arcana check.
Me too, or no?
Yeah, you can.
My schooling is failing me once again.
You have a headband that's helping you cheat, and you're still failing.
I know.
Reasoning, you're using an arcane focus. That's cheating.
Yeah, you're using an arcane focus, and you have a magical doll.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
You have a magical doll that lets you look at stuff.
I hide into my hat.
I'm not cheating.
I become
on
my
nights of travel when you could not find a specific space or place to rest, you knew of someone of high magics that could cast a spell very similar to what appears to be going on now. A spell called Magnificent Mansion.
Oh, it's a respite spell.
Ooh.
It's safe.
A spell to give you a place to rest?
Yeah. It makes a nice mansion, and yeah.
So your doll just dispelled
No, that's
it?
not my doll. That's not my doll. That's it's my thing.
Figurine?
Yeah, I touched the. Well, it opened it with the little mention. Well, go inside, I guess. I can't. My telepathy does not pass planes. It is its own. It is its own place, probably.
If we go in that, we will be inside the dollhouse?
Another place. Maybe not. Maybe though, with it being a magic item instead of a spell. But who is to say?
But it is a safe haven, yes?
How do we know it's safe?
Usually you cast it and the only thing inside are figures of force that you control when you cast it.
But none of us cast it.
The item did, yes, so it could be a little tricksy.
How do we know that this is not a trap?
We don't. Could be like if it could be a trap where like you go inside and then it closes and then you pick up the box and you throw it in the ocean or something. I don't know.
That would be
There-
quite convoluted.
Yeah, but I figure it'll get some people who might be caught unawares of such tactics. I'll have
Do
the
we-
cold spawn enter the thing.
All right. Can you control it across planes?
I'll tell it to go inside and then wait 5 seconds and then come out. Is what
Alright.
what its command will be.
It goes inside. And 5 seconds later, it comes out, emerges.
Okay, so it is at least safe enough to go inside.
It's not
Well,
just
it
a,
is a good
an
sign.
immediate guillotine once you step
Yeah,
inside.
It doesn't. You weren't hurt, were you? Look at it. Peek around the corner to look at it.
Looks fine.
It's
Yeah,
torn
it's
to
fine.
shreds.
It just gazes back
Gone, reduced to
freezing.
atoms.
Is it able to convey at all what it saw on the other side?
Oh, yeah. Can you think about what you saw? Just send like the thought of what you saw.
It begins thinking, and the mind enters yours. It's difficult.
Yeah, it's
to
not.
imagine what
It's
this
not
would
the
look
sharpest. It's not the sharpest image. I just imagine it would point out what objects were available and if there was any thing there, like a person or object of interest.
There was no. There was no people. There were like fake things, fake living things, and it was one very large space of an igloo.
Weird.
What did it see?
Saw like a house made of snow and ice. Seemed to be the inside, and
A house made of snow and ice?
yeah,
Strange.
and like go back inside. Get the better look this time.
It goes back inside.
Go back out. Are they like statues? Is that what I'm imagining?
No, they appear to be like somewhat living, but they turn in the direction. It's all of them of similar look to itself,
Oh,
and
They're like
I
automatons?
see. No, they look like it.
and they almost like look expectantly, like expecting some kind of command.
That's actually terrifying.
Oh, this may be a problem.
What?
Maybe we don't go in there.
Oh,
Why not?
alright.
It's inside.
Just because of these specific circumstances.
What are
I-
the specific circumstances?
It is a hunch, in a leap in logic. But I made the cold spawn, yes, with the staff.
Yes.
Wiggles the staff.
Yes.
It then used the dollhouse to cast the Magnificent Mansion spell, yes.
Yes.
If
Oh.
my cold spawn, which only lasts 1 hour, goes away, does the spell stay active for the entire duration? I mean, if it doesn't, we just get cast out. I don't think we get stuck in there, but
I would rather
only
not
it
risk
can
it.
only it can open and close the door. So if it closes the door behind us and then
So
disappears, it cannot open it until the spell runs out and forced out.
the spell is a message from that.
Yes.
Ooh.
Can't you just recreate the code spawn?
I suppose, but then it's a different creature. It's a different one. More or less. I'm not sure where they come from. I never asked her. Looks at the staff. I don't know if it is the same one or if it's a different one or a host of different cold spawn.
Does the
It
cold
is.
spawn know?
Are you the same one that I cast like yesterday, or are you a different one? I'll open a telepathic communication for it to just give the simple answer of yes or no. Does it member? Can you member with 4 intelligence?
It's attempts to give an answer, and you get like more of a feeling than anything,
Yeah.
and it's a one of confusion.
Okay, it doesn't know. You tried your best, buddy. They're not
It
really
doesn't
all
know?
there. They're more just creatures of some form of arcane manifestation. I'm not too sure about their origin, but
You said
It
that it
doesn't know, and I
communicates
don't
through
know.
its thoughts, yes?
well, I allow it to, yes.
How long can it remember things?
Apparently not very. Doesn't remember yesterday.
So it sounds like if we're going to get to any sort of answers about this, it needs to close the portal, you dispel it, and one of us needs to be the one to open it.
If it can be done again, I'll have the Cold Spawn try to pick up the box if it's even movable.
The box is
Where did this creature come
The
from?
dollhouse.
the dollhouse
My staff.
is
No, no.
no longer there.
Oh, it isn't? Oh.
However, it was within the
Portal.
yes, within the magnificent mansion, as you called it.
Oh, it's inside. So we have to go inside to get it again.
Just like looking at the giant dead snake man on the floor and looking into the room, which is quite small.
It is lit up by my dancing lights.
Yeah, yeah. He also has light on his hammer, so it's casting some bright light into the room.
For your dumb human eyes.
Yeah.
Imagine being human. Couldn't be me. I say without dark vision myself.
Will there be more inside?
More of it, yes. Though I think they will only listen to it, which...
More of the
No.
cold spawn?
No,
Yes.
this creature right here.
Oh,
Where
no.
did it come from? It did not reside in this small room.
I mean, it could
for
have been that
thousands
guard.
of years.
It
This
could have been.
creature? I look at
It
the
doesn't-
dead thing.
Doesn't look natural to me.
No, it doesn't, but it has mouths, and if it has mouths, it must feed.
Not necessarily.
Not
It's
necessarily. Besides, couldn't it feed on some sort of energy that isn't?
Or it could be arcanically powered and, it's not organic really at all. Could have been, like a construct, but more fleshy.
Yes, it could have
Prods
been.
its arm up and then drops it.
Could have been created by whoever set up this spell in the first place.
Yeah, it's like
She
a guard.
gestures to the dollhouse, or where it was.
Yeah, like a guard.
That's what I was thinking. Perhaps someone doesn't want us going in here.
Well, if they did go in there, they're probably long gone.
But why would they set up a guard instead of just some sort of arcane barrier?
Last longer. And you can move it around.
An arcane barrier can't slay you with horrible claws and snake mouths.
Yeah, it depends on the type of intrusion the countermeasure you want to invoke. If it is one that is just don't touch, then a barrier is good enough, but that can be bypassed, whereas if it's a thing, you have to kill the thing, and that's usually a lot harder than going around a wall.
Besides, if it needed to be fed, someone or something would need to be
If it
feeding
needed to
this.
If
This-
it needed to feed.
This creature is also clearly capable of doing something with magic. It walked right through my barrier.
Yes.
Could have been part of its creation.
Well, I
If it was
suppose we'll never know
created.
now.
Yeah. Poke it with a stick.
Are you seeing if it's really dead or?
No, just accenting the point. And also making sure it's dead, yes.
All right.
I'm gonna look at the floor, like, in this small hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Is there, like, dust? Do we see these things like footprints? Or anything like that?
Any signs of life?
It's
What it might have been doing?
Yeah.
you go and look. Go ahead and just make a perception check real quick.
Ooh, I'm good at this. Because, like, if this thing was walking around in this fucking hallway for thousands of years, like, I don't know, we'd have seen some. Perception at advantage. Got a 19, baby.
19.
I think I was just adjusting.
I look through it with my shield.
Yeah.
My shield has a big eye.
You look around. At first, there is an instance where you think dismay, you begin sweeping, and you find nothing but these small divots in the floor before sweeping around more, and then you realize these divots were where this creature has been supposedly standing for a very long time.
Oh. Perhaps your theory is correct. I stand corrected once again.
What?
Yeah.
Whose
Look
theory?
here. Oh, this thing is a god. It did not reside within the small house. It instead was standing here this whole time.
Just standing there? I'm gonna go in after Sir Hammerfell, cautiously.
Oh.
I mean, there's nothing in there. Cold Spawn just wanders around every space it can, just to be sure.
There was nothing on the
Following.
steps either. Until there was.
Well, it stepped everywhere, so it's fine.
The cold spot is just wandering in circles.
Yeah, it wanders everywhere it can,
Oh, that's so cute.
and then I have it.
I
go sit
love
in
the
corner.
cold spawn. I would die for the cold spawn.
I would go float in the corner.
All right.
Why did you send it over there?
Mm-hmm. So it's not in the way.
I don't think it was in the way.
Okay.
Anyway, a god. Perhaps someone did not want us finding this?
Yeah, if it is a magical item, it is a pretty decent deterrent. Not for us, because, we are strong and stuff, but
No.
lesser people would be easily slain.
It is.
But it's only one god. Were they only
Yeah.
worried about keeping out the first people?
Maybe it was super strong and we just killed it before it could, explode or something.
Yes, we are quite powerful.
Wouldn't
Not
that be dangerous for the library?
Well, it's a deterrent. If they didn't want anything stolen, how easier to make it not be stolen than to make it not exist?
But if they didn't want it stolen, I suppose...
Depends
why
on
not
the
just
type of
destroy it in the
information.
first place?
Well, for safekeeping, but...
Well, safekeeping, but if they don't care if it's destroyed...
But if it's a last resort, if they don't want it to be spread, that is its own reason. It is important information to keep record of, but not to be dispersed.
In
So
that case,
you
do you suppose
destroy
someone
it.
planned to come back for this?
They've done a very bad job at coming back for it.
Well, it looks as if this civilization was destroyed.
Yep. So, they're probably good. So,
This god that was here... was it there all this time?
probably.
There's
There's the arcane wall outside that, doesn't like you to go through it, so...
No, cannot enter or leave. And I suppose...
Brandy's gonna start walking
did not
out
have food.
and see if that arcane wall's still there, now that this thing's gone.
The
one
wall that
around-
Solera put up?
No, the wall around the temple. Is that still
okay.
there after
After
this
the-
guard's gone?
Alright.
Brandy, where are you going?
Just curiosity.
Does she seem like she's possessed?
Possessed by the power of
I don't know,
love, baby.
insight.
Yeah.
Completely valid question in this group.
Possessed by the power of love, baby.
Thank you, but I'm more worried about demons.
Oh, my
nat
God!
2 nat 20s!
Oh my god, what the fuck?
Is she
What a
possessed?
waste.
Is she possessed? Tell me,
What a
I get to
waste.
know.
No.
I get to know.
Okay.
No.
And the answer is no.
But how do
Can
you
I say
know?
the other D20 or nat 20 for another time?
No.
No. I got a soundbite for you. It's
No.
I tried.
No, Brandy is completely in her right mind.
All right. I'll go with you.
have fun.
We're coming right back.
Okay.
Yes, do be careful.
I'm gonna go out with Brandy to see if the arcane wall's still up.
As soon as they walk outside, I looked to Aelin and Hammerfell and said, "Lightning lads, you want to go inside? It could be boys only."
Aelin sort of pulls at his collar and says, I might be in a great deal of trouble if I do anything that reckless.
Yes, do not do that.
I like how he doesn't even question the lightning
be
lads
careful.
thing, though.
Neither of them do.
It's
Neither
completely
of
normal
them
thing.
mind at all.
Canon now.
Listen, we've all zapped each other. We're fine. We're bros. We're dude bros. We're lightning lads. I've zapped you. You zapped me. All together, we're a zappy family.
I don't remember that episode of Barney.
Anyway,
You wouldn't.
you'll go out, avoiding the traps. And
I mean, we don't have to go out too far, because I can just shoot a guiding bolt off the top and
alright.
see
Are we
if it
climbing up to the top of
impacts.
the thing?
We're
No,
on
we're
the top.
we're at the
of
top
thing.
of the ziggurat. We're at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Just get down far enough where I'm confident that if there is a wall, if there isn't a wall, I'd be able to extend guiding bolt past it.
Alright.
I hold Brandy's hand while we walk.
You send out the golden, brilliant light and find it make impact with some invisible force.
Did you think perhaps the killing
minute,
that
then-
monster also dispelled the barrier there?
It was a thought I had, but it seems it is still up.
Well, fortunate, I suppose. Who am I to question whoever might have put this up here?
Well, it's at least we tried it, and so something else is keeping that wall up.
What do I know, DM, about upkeep of magical energy? Can you just cast a spell and have it be there forever without some kind of source?
Certain spells, certainly. However, there are, whenever it comes to any sort of summoning of a field of force, generally those have some kind of timer on them.
And it would have to be some insane magic to be up this long.
Yeah.
Who could have created a wall that powerful? Presumably this has been here since, well, the city was new. Or at least alive.
I do not know. It is certainly a great power indeed.
This building does look like a temple to me. But I've not seen many fortresses.
It's hard to say. It is certainly well guarded, but to what end, I'm not sure.
Well, that dollhouse was guarded. There might be other things around here that are.
Real quick,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't have it on any of the calendars, do we have any sort of lunar cycle?
The
The moon takes a whole year?
The moon takes a year to get from one end to the other. There aren't really any phases to it. It's mostly constantly in a full state.
Oh, okay. Well, let's head on back so they don't worry about us, and we can at least relay this information to them.
Yes.
And as they walk, Brandy's going to lean into Slyre's ear. You look beautiful in the moonlight, by the way.
As do you.
Come back inside and we're shooting lightning at each other again. Not this time.
Yeah, we head back inside, avoiding the traps.
All right. Make it back in. Doing anything in this time, Hammerfell or Reesney?
Your friend over there, looking at the cold spawn.
Mhm.
He does not last forever, does he?
No, only about an hour. It's got about 55 minutes or so left. Maybe less.
And you can dismiss him early, yes?
Yes.
Well, what do you think would happen to the doorway?
Could be anything. It could be, depending on how it is set up, it could be remained open since its caster is no longer around to... It could close and the demiplane along with it, since the caster no longer exists. It could remain open because the caster no longer is able to open or close the door. Or it lasts its normal duration and is unchanged, but this remains open. But I do believe it, unless the item is different. Can any of you identify it? Oh wait, no, the igloo is inside of the igloo. Hey, can you go get it? Have the cold spawn go inside to try to
That's so
go
cute.
retrieve the igloo. Have the cold spawn go inside and retrieve the mansion and try to bring it out.
All right. It goes in and
If it does
emerges.
not, I would. Oh, okay.
It emerges with what appears to be a large miniature igloo in its hands. As it emerges, the portal behind it shuts.
That answered our question very instantly.
Does the igloo have a button on the front of it?
Yeah, it does. You can see that there is a ice doorway that has the same button.
I'll have it put it back on the table where
Alright.
it used to have been, but now it's an igloo. I'll have it move away so you don't feel sluggish around it if you go to inspect it.
I'd look over at the door and see if Brandy and Sly are back.
Yep, they emerge.
This bookshelf
I
doesn't
let go of
exist,
Brandy's
it's
hand
gone.
as we enter.
Yeah,
So it's not weird.
Discovered a few more things.
What did
Yeah,
you find?
the igloo is out. And the portal is gone because the igloo left itself.
Also, do
Now
I
it-
know the
and
word
now it's-
igloo?
Now it's an igloo.
You know the word igloo, yeah?
Okay.
So
I know what that is.
I don't.
I made it up.
Sorry, what's an igloo?
It's a house
A
made of ice
house
and
made
snow.
of snow.
Why the hell would you ever do that?
Because it's snowy and, I mean, if you don't have a lot of trees, but a lot of snow, it keeps the heat inside.
Wouldn't
I
it
could
just melt?
no, because it's so cold outside that it freezes, and it actually keeps
Then
it
the walls are
insulated.
cold. Yes.
Yes.
Wouldn't it just crumble?
It seems like
No,
a
no,
flaw
no. Well,
design.
it is a dome. Domes are superior building structures. They're very hard to replicate. Reasony goes on the floor and
They
pulls
have
out some papers and is about to
built
explain the thermodynamics and the structural
with
integrity of igloos.
Bricks. It's
How they
sort
work.
of like a feathers keep a bird warm. Yes, it has air, and the air keeps it insulated.
Just let Reasony explain the thermodynamics of an igloo. It's fine.
Can I roll intelligence to see if I know how igloos work?
You can
I
just
would
know.
say after 40 years of schooling, you know how igloos work.
Okay, good. Yay!
You paid attention in physics class. You paid attention in physics class.
I don't know Celestial, but I know how igloos work. And also, I think she went to school for like 60 years?
60 years, apologies.
Yeah. Listen, I went to school for like 18 and I remember Jack, so I don't want to hear about 60 years. I'd probably lose information. Forget how to breathe.
Celeria paid attention. All she has is her academic
I
performance.
did too. I had a 89 in AP calculus and I remember nothing.
Brandy's gonna lean over to Slyra and be like, I don't really know what snow is.
We encountered snow in the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
Snow is.
But she didn't know what it was. She's like,
Oh, okay.
weird crunch.
Do you
She
do you
doesn't.
remember
She
the,
doesn't.
Weird grass.
She doesn't know you can pack it together.
Weird
Do
grass.
you remember the frozen, fluffy water in the mountains that fell from the sky?
The cold ash.
Yes, that's snow. And you can form it. Sort of like, like ash or wet sand. Does that make sense?
You say it does.
Next time we encounter snow, I will show you.
I see you inspecting the igloo.
Reasoning and Hammerfell are just like, all right,
I'm gonna
wait till they're
explain
done being gay.
I'm gonna explain to Hammerfell the structural integrity and the sophistication of domes.
Yes, I know the strength of the sphere. It is a strong design.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is why most armor is
But this is just a model. I don't
shaped
think
in
it's
that
actually
way.
made of snow. I go to touch it. Like the igloo part of it, not the door or the button part of it. Does it feel solid, or does it feel like an igloo?
It feels solid. It doesn't seem to be made out of actual snow.
Feels like stone or plastic, even. Like a replica. Oh, it's not even real, so.
Oh, well, most magical items have a limit on number of times they can be activated a day. Perhaps this is similar.
Reasoning
I'm going
shrugs.
to do something daring. I'm going to push the button.
There is no effect.
You
Oh,
broke
so
it.
when
I
he
can't
pushed the
believe-
button.
I can't believe you broke it, Hammerfell.
I did not break it.
What broke?
Didn't work.
Nothing was broken. No, everything's fine.
Has
Might be on. It might have only one use per day or something. And
Yes, that is what I was.
I guess you could say
theorizing
the igloo cooled.
about. That's a good one. I like.
go
that.
sit in the corner, Mitch.
I'm going to pick the igloo up.
All right, you pick it up. You have it.
and
How
then-
heavy is it?
I'll walk back.
It's about 10 pounds.
Oh.
Sure.
Oh.
Eventually the cold spawn just turns to dust. Turns to snow, I guess you could.
Well, we are being cautious for a reason, but sometimes that is, not necessary. But I'm glad that everyone practiced restraint and caution. And I will
Partially.
put the igloo. I will put the igloo down on the table.
All right.
Can any of you identify it?
Yes, that is what I am in the process of doing now.
Okay,
Take
I'm going
a-
back
a
into my
pearl.
tent.
Yes, I shall inform you if anything happens.
Reason crawls back into bed.
Yeah, I ritually cast Identify.
All right.
How do we
11
know you
minutes.
didn't click the button? Push button.
All right, here. I'm sending you the item
Ooh.
card, Hammerfell.
Let's go. Maximum
Pog?
poggers. Holy shit. Hmm. Aw. Unfortunate. Just read the ending of it.
That's always how I feel.
Oh no!
It had a one-time. It had a one-time. It had a one-time use, and we've wasted it for like the next 300 years.
You're not too far off.
3 decades?
Do I know
3 years?
about that?
Yeah, you know how many charges are remaining, so I would imagine you would
It's
know.
not a charge. But
Do I know about the
You
cooldown?
sense that its magic is depleted for a fair amount of time.
Alright. I don't know if anyone else is hanging about after these 11 minutes have concluded.
Aelin is going back to trancing.
Sandy will be standing right there.
Well, this is quite the powerful item. It is like an artifact of hospitality. Can be used in many ways. But it loses its strength for a few days after it's used.
The igloo is
Yes,
an artifact of hospitality,
well, something like that.
guarded by that.
I suppose so. We do not know the intentions behind such warnings. This place is meant to store information, yes? Meant to house and keep safe the knowledge of these people, even though we cannot read it. But it seems that this was something they thought needed extra protection. He looks at the dead creature on the ground.
So, either someone doesn't want us here at all, or someone doesn't want anyone who cannot defeat that creature here, in which case perhaps we're all right.
I think it might have been that creature was protecting this in particular. All this other knowledge was warded by the massive barrier aside. That is one layer of protection, as are the many traps, yes. But this is a very, very powerful artifact, I must say. So that is why it has garnered extra defense.
Just a place of respite. Unless it's someone's personal property that they just didn't want anyone else entering.
Well, I may be underselling it a bit. It might not exactly be a simple place of respite, but it creates another plane of existence, a small one, I believe. But
Like a bag of holding?
something like that. But you can exist in there. You can live in there, and there can be. You can shape it to your will. You can create food and water within it.
Do we think it only appeared as an igloo because the cold thing touched
Yes,
it?
yes. I should have explained that. I'm so sorry. But it shapes to what the wielder wishes it to be. Yes.
I believe you can still create food and water in a bag of holding.
Can you?
If you use magic.
Oh,
I
but
don't
it
know if
does
there's an
not
arcane spell
create
that
the
can do
food,
it.
does it?
Can you not cast spells in a bag of holding?
I'm sure you could, but
I don't know if it quite has the room for that.
this object would create anything you would wish within the confines.
You can put a person in a bag of holding, can't you?
Not for long.
I believe so. I'm not sure.
If you could get air in there, isn't that the only problem?
The space is rather small. It's enough to fit a person in, yes, but the air in there is finite, and I don't believe just having it sit open is enough to get air. But that is besides the point.
Marissa should not have gotten as high a grade on that project as she did, I think. She did a whole project on how long you could survive in a bag of holding just by yourself.
I don't know the specifics. I personally will agree on the expense of someone who studied the thing rather than just my passing knowledge of it. But regardless, this is something it seems like we will have to wait to look into more on in the morning and see if the charge is on. But for now, it seems we are safe and able to rest for the rest of the evening.
I suppose so. Not with this I saw lying around. Excuse me for a moment, and now I'm gonna grab this fucking giant snake thing and drag it back into this room.
All right. Throw it back in.
Are you hoping they won't notice?
Why did you move all my letters?
I'm just do not want its corpse,
In the room with us.
degrading the place. Yes,
That's true.
I'm go
I was
over here.
joking. I don't think anyone else is going to come in here. Going
I would
to
hope
come
not.
in here.
I'm gonna investigate this wall and move this bookshelf aside.
All right. Move
Where's
it
the loose-
aside.
where's
Look
the
at
loose
the
brick?
wall. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Oh no.
Oh no. Hammerfell, you're so intelligent though, and so
I-
investigative.
I'm not. Oh shit!
Oh? Pog.
You are so certain there are no secret passages over here.
Damn it! You want to double check?
You're in the tent.
I am.
Aylin's trancing.
I'm gonna keep looking in here.
In
Just
here?
wander around the area carefully.
Alright. You do have about, like, half an hour of watch left, I believe. So.
Well, now I'm awake. I'm very interested in this.
I will return to the sleeping area and go back to sleep, leaving the igloo on the table.
I'm also
If
gonna
anybody else
examine
wants to identify it.
this creature with a mage hand, if possible. Have I seen a creature like this before? Do I know what this is? Do I know why it has so many mouths?
It has so many things to say.
Go ahead and make an Arcana check, just investigating it. You haven't seen or heard of anything like this, but you might be able to glean some information just about
Oh,
Nat 20!
biology. Alright.
Finally, Celira knows something.
she knows all.
You wanna fight me right now?
Isn't really
All right,
about
let's
knowing...
go. Let's go right now.
Oh, God. This isn't about knowing something. This is about learning. You are able to gauge that this creature is created. It is not a creature of natural origin. The mouths all along it, throughout the fight, were making noises that almost seemed to entrance you in different ways. Whether it was avoided or not, you knew that effect was present. These mouths also were used in order to abjure it themselves, or at least attempt to abjure itself from various other spells. However, it failed when Aelin cast a similar kind of magic in order to abjure its abjuration.
Abjure,
And-
abjure.
So when it walked right through my wall,
That seemed to be a creation of anti-magical force that it centered on itself for but a moment. Looking at it, you can gauge that it's definitely capable of it, and that a lot of it seems to be linked within. I'm not sure how deep you're going into this creature.
as deep as possible.
I'm asking if you are dissecting this creature at all.
Oh, you mean like physically cutting it open?
Yeah.
Do I think that I can gain more knowledge from that?
Yes.
Yes.
Do I think the others would very quickly notice and judge me for it?
That's
Brandy's
up to you.
standing at the entrance of the room.
Okay, I'm not gonna do it if Brandy's watching, because I know it's weird. Or I feel like it's
It's
weird.
a funny monster. You dissect frogs all the time.
If that's the case, then that's about all you can glean. You're not sure where its abjuration power comes from. However, you know that it is built for it.
What do I know about sources of magic within living creatures? Like, as a sorcerer, do I have any sort of belief about where my arcane power is stored?
Whenever it comes to humanoids, generally it has something to do with a particular bloodline and how in sync it is with the weave, and specifically, like, Hadan, the glass albatross who made the weave. Not necessarily worshipping him, but just how by certain means you may be linked to him.
Just being in sync, like how some people can use the Force. Where are my midi-chlorians?
Well, you know, we haven't gotten that far yet, but whenever it comes to creatures, you know that magic is, maybe not magic, but certain abilities like breath weapons or psionic bits, are stored in glands. Different points for different creatures, but there is generally a separate kind of organ that is used to produce that, and some of it can produce it very quickly, some of it takes some time to regenerate. So you can assume that it might be similar with this creature, but once again, this is a created creature.
Okay. So this was, like, magically constructed.
Correct.
Cool. Awesome. I'm gonna leave it there and... You can... I say to Brandy, you can go back to sleep if you want. I have a bit longer on watch. Are you waiting for me?
I was just keeping an eye on you while you were investigating that thing.
Thank you.
Of course, last thing I want to happen to you is it to come back to life or something, and we're all...
Well, you will notice the first time it came out. I think you would notice if it did again.
I actually set up a bedroll this time instead of just leaning against the desk, so... Brandy reaches out her hand.
Solera takes it and goes back out to the library with her.
Alright.
She wanted to stay here and investigate, but the gay is too powerful.
Brandy just lays down with her head in Solera's lap. Quickly
Lap
falls asleep
pillow.
like that.
Lap pillow.
And we're behind the desk, so no one can see it, so haha. So joke's on you.
Solera, the rest of your watch goes by uneventful. At the end of which, probably more about 20 minutes after that point, Aelin will arise, ready to take watch. You hear him shuffling for a moment before...
I startle and stop playing with Brandy's hair.
Sort of just look over, only seeing the desks. He says, Solera, you there?
Oh, I was just sitting over here,
Right, I'm going to take my watch now.
I was looking at, that creature. I believe it was constructed by a mage.
Interesting. So definitely a god dog then.
I would say so.
Right, well, we have many questions.
Never seen a dog like that.
Hopefully we can find some answers tomorrow. But you need to get some rest first.
I know. Good luck.
Sleep well.
I'll do my trance thing.
Alright.
I've made a starting level revelation that I will never recover from. Leave me alone.
What? What?
Don't worry about it.
What was your startling revelation?
No.
You can't say you
You
made a
can't
startling
say
revelation,
that.
then just not say what it
it's
is.
the one-
Chat. It's in
the one
chat,
that's in
don't worry about it.
chat.
Oh.
Non-D&D related.
It's nothing to do with D&D.
4 hours pass, and you all come to consciousness the next morning. The benefits of a long rest. It's not a lot of natural light that breaches through. It's not a great it's not very much sun facing, and it being sunken into a hole does not help with natural light. However, it is enough to stir those of you who are not quite waking yet to your senses. And the day is yours. What do you want to do?
Brandy will start.
Look
cooking
longingly at the
breakfast.
bookshelves because I can't read any of them.
Well, we still have the 2 potions.
Mm.
Of understanding.
But Brandy will get up, roll up her bedroll, and start making breakfast.
Alright.
Breaky.
We're gonna do... Let's look at some more inventive breakfast dishes.
Ham, egg, and cheese McMuffins.
Canned turkey
from McDonald's.
Nice.
Am I going to buy McDonald's food and sell it as my own cooking?
Of course I am.
How devilish! How delightfully devilish!
I'm gonna check out the igloo and
Alright.
cast Identify on it again. Just to try to gauge how much time there is left.
Basing off of the magic that was within it before and the magic that is there previously, probably about doing a simple math is hard. About 60 more hours.
Oof. Yeah. Alright. Good to know.
I'm gonna hang out with Brandy while she's cooking and tell her about Rissa's project about how long you could survive in a bag of holding.
She'll just
So
nod and be like, yes.
Salira, it comes with a label. It says don't be in there for longer than 10 minutes.
Selira didn't do the project. One of her classmates did.
They can't read a label, apparently.
Aiden will walk up.
Pizza for
Thank-
breakfast. Pizza for brekkie.
Morning, everyone.
Oh, yes.
Morning.
Morning, Eden.
I assume the rest of your watch was uneventful? The
Yes,
entirety, I suppose.
dreadfully boring. Anybody got any plans for what we're going to do here?
Not sure.
Well, we found some potions last night that I was able to figure out were potions of understanding. So what I thought the best bet would be is to give them to someone like Solara, and she could read as many of the titles she can. Just look at the spines, grab what books seem like they might be important, and then at a later date translate them. Keeping the
Aelin, don't you know how to do that spell that allows you to read different languages?
Well, I used to. I gonna be honest, a lot of what was stored in my mind was changed when I got back. I'm afraid a lot of knowledgeable spells have been replaced with those better suited for combat.
Oh. That does not sound fun.
Well, I mean, the shooting lightning is fun, but no longer having access to knowledge is certainly irritating.
Can you still do prestidigitation?
Yes, that one is a bit more sense of flare out, set in stone.
So more the utility spells that weren't as easy.
Yes, but,
What was the first one you learned?
like the first spell I ever learned,
Yes.
prestidigitation.
That's a good one.
Did Reason say that's cool?
Yeah. He's like, that's a good one.
Yes, it's very helpful, very useful in just day-to-day living.
I think it's the first spell a lot of people learn. It's a good way to practice manipulating the weave in small ways. Speaking of the weave,
Yes.
I examined that creature that came out of that last night. And I believe it was constructed by a mage. Clearly it can interact with the weave. It seemed to... I cast a wall of force to try to contain it. I don't know if you saw that. But it walked right through it. And I thought that I had cast the spell wrong. But I think that it actually was just able to put some kind of shield around itself, some kind of armor that allowed it to push past the magic.
Sort of severing itself from the weave for a moment.
Yes, that's exactly it. Severing itself,
Well,
as if like oil and water.
if we have more creatures like that to face here, then just looks around the room of mages. We may be in a spot of trouble.
Well, Hammerfell hits things. He's got the hammer.
Yes,
And-
indeed. I can
and
hit things, I just don't
Bren-
have a sword.
Brandy has her sword.
Yes, and
I
Flora
have.
has hers as well.
Do you not have a weapon?
I did, but then I...
Do you want to
It
use
got-
my short sword? I also have a crossbow. If you'd prefer something ranged, I don't use them very often.
He sort of, like...
I do
makes
have a dagger, but I thought you preferred.
He makes a face
More
as
than
you
that.
say short sword, and then as soon as you say dagger, he says, well, he basically already offered me a dagger. That short sword's not my preference. I prefer the longer variety.
Well, I can
Ah,
forge you
I'm
one.
afraid I only have the short sword.
Oh yeah, Hammerfell makes stuff all the time.
That'd be
It's-
wonderful if just to have one, even if it's not what I was meant to wield. It'd be...
Well, I also have a number of other magical weaponry.
Oh.
Perhaps this would suit you well, and I will go to my
Pull out
packs
the flesh
and
sword.
present him. Yeah, the sword made of fucking bone and shit.
Flesh
No,
sword!
no, we got rid of that.
Flesh sword, no!
Did we get rid of Flesh
yeah, we did.
Ripper?
We sold it. We sold it.
Oh yeah, okay, that's good.
I will give him the great sword of the Sparking Forge.
Starts he
Too
like
big.
as he's holding it, you
It's-
see his arms are like shaking
Too
to
big.
barely keep it up.
Too big.
This may be lays it on the ground. A bit too large for me.
Oh, well,
Too bad. Shorter.
I can. Give me one moment. I'll
Dagger too small.
sit
Short
down.
sword too small. Great sword
and
too
begin
big.
to
We need a long sword that's just right.
begin
Very
to
funny.
do the ritual.
Reezy Snickers.
How expensive? The Sunshine's fucking price.
Good morning, let's bully Aelin.
I don't have magic other than my backpack and my stick and Chris.
Did Sinian take the stuff?
Um,
The one that you had before?
The answer is yes.
I don't have it anymore, if that's what you're asking.
You left it with us. But I think Sinian did take it. Which, should we be concerned about that?
I think it's
Guess-
fine.
Well, he's responded to our sendings, and that seemed out of the ordinary, so...
We
Yeah,
have
you-
seen, though, some of those items were cursed.
By the way, Hammerfell, if you need any aid in monetary for the
Or
production of
materials.
this, then I would be able to help you out. I
Oh.
have.
Yes, it shouldn't be that expensive. Somewhere around 15 gold coins, I believe, should do it.
Can it be materials?
If it has a gold value.
Yeah, if it is a gold value, like mechanically,
We start
just
stealing
kinda-
spoons and stuff.
You see, he has this like side satchel that has like kind of been beneath a coat, not to the point where he didn't notice, but it seemed mostly empty. But he pulls out a single sapphire and hands it to you.
Where did you get
this-
that?
It was provided to me. Kind of foggy as to why, but I believe its value should be somewhere around 1,000.
ooh, that is quite expensive.
Do you want other things that you can turn into money or stuff? You can see what I got in my bags.
Can you make like a sapphire sword out of it?
I can try.
No,
What sort of enchantment did Mother put on the other one?
it was very heavily inspired by Bahamut, if I remember correctly. There was whenever I wielded it, there was a platinum dragon that rested on my shoulder. It was very impressive looking.
That sounds oddly familiar, but the
Do I
inverse of
think that I could do a similar enchantment on a new weapon? DM?
You certainly think it's possible, but it would take a large amount of time and a lot of material components to provide that enchantment.
I'd like to be on the lookout for material components and stuff, because if we can't fix the other sword, I don't know, that'd be
Just
cool.
to be clear, by a large amount of times, I mean probably somewhere within the realm of 4 months to a year.
Love that.
Yeah.
I will just
downtime,
keep it
baby.
as a maybe
Enchanting
then.
takes a long time.
Downtime, baby.
I will keep it as a maybe. Because I still think it would be cool, but yeah, it's probably not realistic, huh?
Definitely possible. Just within your current sort of short time frame, you have to get things done.
Yeah.
At the very least.
What if
it'd
I
probably be-
try to fix his other sword?
I'm not sure. Well,
Just don't roll a 1.
you have it, so that's your prerogative.
Remember what happened last time, though, Smile?
What if I'm really careful about it?
That's
I think so was Aelin. I would think, but
Clearly not that careful.
it is totally up to you.
Smile.
I'm gonna
Oh no!
later.
Oh god!
Brandy is making breakfast bruschetta with garlic confit.
Hammerfell, what are you making?
Well, I'm gonna lay out a bunch of silver coins.
All right.
And this sapphire that he's provided me.
All right.
And I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try to create a longsword with the sapphire in the hilt of it, and have it bear any religious symbols of Bahamut that I know, as well as like an image of Bahamut, like a dragon going down the blue.
Sorry, Hammerfell's just like doing his best to draw a picture of a dragon.
Just put Bahamut on the cross. It's fine.
Over the course of this time, it sort of begins forming.
But
But
I want to preface this of saying I don't know if I actually can do this, right? Because if this gem is worth that much, I can't make an item worth
Well, you just
that
cut
amount.
the gem in half, stupid.
Bjorn's like, are you cheating on me with another god? With this
No,
Bahamut stuff.
It's a gift for somebody else. It's fine.
You're breaking your limit? I'm going to
And,
call the police. I'm
like,
calling the divine police.
as you
Bahamut, if
bring-
you
Angels
wanna
are on their
chill.
way right now. Do
No.
not move.
as you do this, the sapphire is going to be sort of like magically just sort of separated into two separate gems. One slightly smaller than the other, the smaller of which will be included in the longsword due to the pricing of the longsword itself. And as you form it, you form a brilliant blade of with the sapphire in the hilt or the pommel.
The hilt.
Imbued in the hilt, and you see the brilliant imagery of Bahamut upon it, and it is a beautiful looking sword.
And then I'm going to I don't know if this is pushing this too much, but I will attempt the Blessing of the Forge at the end of the long rest.
I'll allow it.
So I will make it a +1 magic
cool.
longsword,
All right,
and my armor's magic fades, but that's okay.
Sag.
Magic sword.
Yeah, magic
Do you
sword.
think we'll be coming back here tonight?
Mm.
Perhaps
Seems like the safest place, given there's a huge wall of force surrounding us.
it is.
At the very least, one more day of exploration around here, I'm sure, can be warranted. After all, we need to find more of these books that have the symbols connected to us.
Mm-hmm. But do we go back, or do you guys have a place to be, or?
Well, eventually.
We have work to do, but we kind of need to find a solution here. I found a solution to a personal problem. Now we need to find a solution to a problem at large.
If you'd like, you two can, Brandy and Solira, you can, look over the books in here, and we can go explore the city. The Lightning Lads.
Real quick,
Lightning Lads?
I just want Brandy will be paying attention to this. Does Hammerfell keep the rest of the sapphire, or does Aelin take the rest of it?
Yeah, I was just about to ask that in private chat. So I separated the two, and I'm left with half the sapphire worth 500 gold.
How much is a longsword worth?
It's 15 gold.
15 GP. So yeah, the sapphire that went into the sword was 485 GP, and then you have a 515 GP sapphire left over.
I will actually have used 140 silver pieces to reduce that by 15. So it's a
530 left over.
Yes, 530 left over.
Yeah. So I have a sapphire worth 530 gold. Cool.
So Hammerfell is going to keep it.
I will offer it back to Aelin, as well as the sword.
Aelin will take the sword and thank you. Say, I've never seen a finer forged blade.
Oh yes, thank you very much.
As for the sapphire, I am still unclear of what its use was intended to be, but I really have no use for it.
Oh well, I shall hold on to it, I suppose, for the monetary needs for forging, if that is quite all right with you.
Right,
Can you use it if one of us dies again?
I don't believe so, but I could transmute it into a diamond.
I have more if I have two more should you need.
Oh, that is wonderful. If I have the need, I shall ask.
Do I know of any magic that would specifically use 1,000 or 3,000 gold worth of sapphires?
Make a Arcana check.
Oh no!
An Arcana check.
This is necessary.
I'm gonna do that too.
All right, go ahead.
22?
22.
That's
Dirty
pretty good.
20.
All right, you both know of a conjuration spell that uses a sapphire. Essentially, what the spell does is you touch an object that weighs somewhere around 10 pounds, and with the sapphire, you leave an invisible mark on its surface, and then you inscribe the name of it into the sapphire. Then, at any point, you could crush the sapphire and instantly summon the item to your hand.
It's like an instant summon.
Summon.
If only I knew who made it. I wonder, they probably have a cool name like Drawmidge.
So, knowing
I'm gonna
that,
bring up that spell.
yeah,
or
I'm
or
gonna bring
reasoning.
it up and be like, do the sapphires have any sort of inscriptions on them or anything like that?
As soon as you bring up the spell, Aelin's face goes blank for a moment, and then, realization comes to his face and says, "Oh. No, actually, they wouldn't at the moment.
They're not
was-
bound to anything?
Not at the moment. I was supposed to send back, proof."
Oh.
Huh. Oh. They're now at our disposal then.
Indeed. Do you anybody care for one?
Oh, I'll take one. Like the smaller one that has already been used. If anyone wants the bigger ones.
Sure. Trade me Hammerfell.
Oh yes, here you are. I'll hand him
Take the
the.
smaller one. 530 GP, and he'll hand you 1,000 GP, and he'll give the other one to Brandy.
E.
Do I want to know exactly what proof?
Probably not. Anyway, are we going with Reasonings's plan then?
I don't see why not.
And if anything goes sideways for any of us, I'm sure we're all capable of making some sort of noise or other signal to the others.
Oh, I thought you
Indeed.
were going to say that we're all capable of reviving someone with these gems.
Well, not with these gems, but just while we're doing this investigating. Yeah,
I don't know how to do that spell,
I do.
for the record.
Aelin looks between the three lightning lads and says, if you hear a large amount of thunder or you see a lightning bolt hit the sky, some will probably need you.
And if you see a roar of thunder, roar of fire from us,
Alright.
I don't think that.
Which reminds me, lightning lads? I say to Reasoning.
I was going to question that as well.
Why? It's a good name.
I'm questioning
You're a
why
bit young to be lads, don't you think?
Are we?
aren't lads?
Hammerfell looks old.
I was more questioning why we need a separate name, or why
we're the
you need a
lords.
separate name. I suppose. I don't have a problem with it. I was wondering when this came about. Lightning lads. Is it purely for the alliteration, or?
Yeah. And we all shoot lightning, so you know.
That's a fair assessment.
and they're all men.
Fair
Do
assessment.
we need
once
a
more.
name? I say to Brandy.
I don't think we
The
do. No.
fire starters.
Fire start. So Hammerfell was teaching me how to start a fire without magic. I still can't do it, but
Oh, she got close.
almost.
Hammerfell, you were about
Did
to
you know
mention
that there are
something?
different types of wood that you can use to start a fire?
Oh no! You
Who is
guys
better
have
than
eaten all
others?
of our breakfast, and it is time to go adventuring.
Shut up, Fuller.
We have so many temporary hit points from all the food we've eaten. Oh, num num num. So
You have
nummy
5
up.
temporary hit points.
Hey.
Hey!
It's like Reese's like grabbing like Hammerfell and Aelin by like the scruff of the necks and floating out.
suppose,
Oh,
suppose
no!
we'll see you later.
Oh no! I cannot control my power. I'm flying with them away.
To Brandy. Was that particularly uninteresting?
Reason comes
No.
back. Reason pops his head back in the door. I'm sorry if that was mean. I was just being funny. And he leaves.
You know I'll never complain about hearing you lecture.
Lecture. Apparently, the lightning lads are not interested. The lightning lads.
And Reasoning continues to be an interesting individual.
He-
Anyway,
I
this-
think he's had quite a year.
let's see what we can get done with this potion then.
Are we doing this now?
Well, is there anything else you wanted to do? I mean, we only have an hour with the potion, so.
I
But
suppose I'm just a bit
other-
nervous.
just whatever books sound like they might be important or relevant. I'll leave that up to you to determine what sounds like they are.
Do I have to DM? Do I have to physically write with the emerald pen to cast illusory script with it?
Casting time of illusory script is 1 minute, so it would probably
Never
be faster
mind.
just to write it down.
I mean, does
How-
the magic item say cast it as an action?
No, it just says to cast
Oh,
it.
okay.
How quickly can you write, Brandy? It might be a good idea to have a record of these. I suppose I can just write it down as I read them. I'm just hoping to maximize our information gathering. There are so many books here.
True. I don't. I'd say I'm fairly fast, but I don't know. Not like. I don't know. It is. I spent many years writing, so I say I'm fairly
Writing?
fast. Ah,
What did you write
Yes.
about?
um, lyricism and such.
You wrote your own songs.
When you have hundreds of years, and one of your chosen crafts is a song, you'll get around to it.
Would you show me some of them sometime?
Sometime, yes.
What did you write about?
Some topics it was occasionally rather random, whatever caught my eye or attention or fancy. Wrote about the comfort that alcohol brought me, as well as the company of others in varying contexts.
The people that you didn't like?
No.
Or did
these-
like? Or the stories that of adventures? I suppose we have a few people at court who write songs.
They were not often tales, so to speak. More just
Love
music.
songs.
uh,
It's all right
uh,
if they were.
no, they were well, some of them might be, but they were to say they were love would be an gross simplification of and underestimation of the feelings that I know of what are love now and what would have been back then. I didn't know
It's
love.
different.
I didn't know love before I met you all, so no, it would have been different. Well, yes, it would have been different.
I would still like to hear them. If you ever want to show them.
Once this is all over, I will share.
I
some.
I hear you humming sometimes. I think you have a very nice voice. I like hearing people sing.
I
I
sure
was
hope I do.
never very good at it, but my mother used to sing to me.
Once again, I am sure that there's. I'm sure you are better than you think you are.
I really couldn't. All my teachers said I had too much tension in all the wrong places. It was very strange. Some of them would have me lie down on a cloth roll or sit in a certain way, and I never could do it.
Them saying you are too tense. Now that that process.
That's what most of my teachers say. If you recall, when we tried to learn the tango.
Yes, that is why I say that, yes, that does pass. That does not mean you are bad at it.
I just have to practice until I don't have to think about it. And I suppose singing was never for me. My mother tried, believe me. She wanted me to take music lessons, and I took them for quite a while in school, but I was just not meant to be a singer, a performer. Anyway, let's figure out these books.
Right. Do you have the means to write down notes? I don't have anything on.
Oh yes, I have my notebook.
Right.
I will. Will you stand by with some paper in case I need something longer written down? I have my own quite messy shorthand, and that will be fine, but I'll probably have to transcribe it later because no one can read my handwriting when I use it.
Perhaps then it is best if I read them, dictate them to you, and you write them down, and then we can judge the titles from there.
That's a good idea.
If you're more confident in your method of taking notes, then that's probably a better idea.
If you're confident in your method of taking notes, that's fine. Also,
If
I just always wanted to write down everything the teacher said in school.
you're probably
Which-
better at it than I am, then.
They really didn't like. My teachers always say, you're supposed to write it down in your own words. But how am I supposed to write it down in my own words if I don't know exactly what they said so that I can figure out what it is in my own words? Because I might misinterpret something.
She just
I don't
smiles
know.
at you. Just smiles at you.
I'm sorry. That's...
No, it is fine. I like hearing more about what you were like when you were younger.
Annoying.
Maybe to some.
Let's figure out these books.
Right. Brandy will go into her bag and pull out one of the potions of understanding. Just look at Slyra, just like a ready motion.
I'm gonna mage hand my notebook over. Turn to a fresh page.
1, 2, 3, go!
And also, are the boys gone?
Yes.
I kiss her again. Anyway, and then
You
we
think
can
Chris-
do
we'd
the
be having?
potions.
You think we'd be
Chris-
having half this conversation with them in person?
Chris
here?
was there.
That's
He
true.
was sitting on the table the entire time.
You just look over and he just got left on a chair.
Anyway,
He just slowly falls over. No, I took that. You think Chrisley's leaving my side? Never.
But Brandy will
We're gonna get tattled on by a doll.
will uncork the potion and drink the. I believe you described it as a pink liquid.
mhm.
What
She'll
does it
drink
taste like?
Pepto-Bismol.
No,
Anyway,
that's not you. I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that.
You drink the potion, Brandy.
yes.
All right. I assume you're choosing Celestial as a language.
Deep speech. Yes, Celestial.
All right.
I'm choosing
I was
deep
thinking we'd
speech.
go with Sylvan.
So,
Goblin, so
Uh,
that way I can read Reezy's mind.
as you
Read
drink it,
Reesney's diary.
it's a mostly
It's not even
flavorless liquid.
Aw.
As it, there are various aspects that
Lame.
remind you of like a copper taste, almost like blood, but it
Lame.
is unnerving. But you move past it, and as you do so, it feels as though suddenly your mind is like free of stress for moments, but then suddenly that freedom is suddenly replaced with knowledge, and you are able to understand the meanings of currently just looking at the spines, you can understand the meanings of many of these words. You saw previously repeated symbols before, but you weren't sure what they meant. And the first one that immediately comes up is the term iftar, over and over again. EFTIR, iftar. It like history of iftar, flora and fauna of iftar, and the and various other aspects reporting to this. As you look around further, you eventually find a book that is in reference to a group of people within Iftar. You could see on the side it says Tales of the Planescarvers and Their Sacrifice. Moving forward, there are more and more books that, looking through, a lot of them are actually repeating. You find a book about, or you find a book that mentions, check my notes, because I don't remember the names of any of my shit. That mentions amphibians. It says amphibian biology, and within this library there are also books that are in reference to farming, in reference to general hunting tips. There is haha.
Guys, stop bullying the DM. Let him use the word.
I can't.
Oh no, Hammer fell. Oh no, what happened to him?
Did you kick him?
No.
He fell in a hole.
By the time you get to about 25 minutes through, you feel like you've found the majority of useful books, as many of them are in reference to things that you've already found, or things that are already known, such as the process of growing crop, the process of foraging. A lot of them are not really focused specifically on here, but on life in its most broad aspects.
So Lyra's still gonna want to keep, like, trying out books.
Alright.
I mean, she's not gonna, like, force her to do it, but she's gonna want to keep going.
But you're at 25 minutes through the potion whenever you feel like you have found the most important novels from within here. What else would you like to do?
Which of these titles do you think is the best to just try and read right now?
Which of the titles do I think is best to try and read right now, DM? Think for me.
That's totally up to you. That is, the history of Iftir, the Planescarvers and their sacrifice, the biology and cultural aspects of the amphibians, and the flora and fauna of Iftir.
Go with the Planecarvers.
That's what I was thinking.
Planecarvers.
As much as I would love to read about the history of them,
No,
I
it's super important.
think it's important to find what on earth
Sounds
these
like
are.
a title of some sort that I'm not familiar with, and their sacrifice
Planecarvers.
also. Yes. Also sounds. Sacrifice also seems to roughly align with something that might be along what we're looking for.
Well, how good are you at skimming books?
I can do my best.
Alright, I'll take notes to whatever you dictate.
Got it. Which would this be, investigation or what to
To
skim?
try and quickly skim, that would
Yeah.
be that would probably be perception.
17. Anything?
All right. So the Planescarvers, originally known as a group of individuals known as the Nine Above. the book goes into what they wanted to be. They had created a society, at least the Amphibians had created a society that had ultimately reached the highest level of perfection that was possible on this plane of existence, which to them is the only plane. They reference this plane as the true landscape, and this group of 9 were a group of 9 mages and scientists who wanted to expand further and go into differing dimensions. They would give this an example as to drawing something on a slice of paper and saying that this is the world in 2 dimensions. We are in 3 dimensions, but they wanted to go one more beyond into a different point. They wanted to go to a place that ultimately became known as the space between planes. That would allow them to evolve further and see differently and further perfect an already near perfect society. However, when this was attempted, they found themselves not being able to quite do it. The people ended up being scattered. They volunteered themselves as experimentalists. You could see the different signatures of these individuals within. Each of the signatures within, written above a name. The names being Erica, Jonathan, Baroness, Jeranus, Bevon, Darian, Stryker, Geneva, and Trent. These...
Baroness Jeranus?
No.
Yeah.
Baroness and Jeranus are separate names.
Oh. Baroness and Jeranus.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you can see the signatures for them are oddly familiar. Some of them resemble the markings that are placed upon you, and the markings that you have all come to know as being associated with different planes. And it goes into stories as to how these people, when attempted to shunt themselves into the place between planes, there was always some sort of issue, some sort of error that was caused. And they instead became a completely separate plane all in themselves, based off of who they were as a person. It created something new. And while they were able to enter it and explore it, they were no longer able to get the ally back. They had been permanently transfixed into a new plane. Eventually, there were very few remaining. They had also taken the time to use this technology in a somewhat limited capacity to banish those of high crime. They banished evil people into their own planes, creating 9 different realms of chaos and evil. But they eventually all fell to this same cause, but not before the final living member of the Planescarvers, that being Baroness, was tasked by the people known as the Prime Children at the time to take the prime deities with which the primeval children had waged war with and turn them into their own separate planes, turning them into the elemental planes. This task was completed, however, doing so rocked the world. It caused the entire world to undergo a strange transformation that only the primevals, once all of life had gone extinct, were able to deal with. After this point, the final member, Trent, who has the symbol of the that you know as Mount Celestia, tried this final one more time on himself as the world crumbled away before it failed, and he became the last plane to make up what they have drawn out as a large great wheel. You could see several planes, including what became to be known today as the elemental planes of fire, water, earth, and air, as well as many other planes. You can see some of it is not damaged, but almost like purposely erased, the names of the planes. And as you...
Which one is assigned to the plane of fire?
None are assigned to the plane of fire. They took the primal forces
Got it.
that made this world and banished them when they got in. They were asked by what are today's gods to banish them into their own planes, which they became those planes. They became the elemental plane of fire. They became the elemental plane of water.
And does this book at all include how they were able to exile people, like the how to?
It references a spell, a incredibly high level spell that was at first meant to be used in order to banish yourself, to shunt yourself into the space between planes. But when they did it upon themselves, they failed constantly, over and over again. But it became used. If one purposely failed this on the target of the spell, then they could form them into a plane, which there was no experience. No one could write down the experience, but from a visual standpoint, it seemed incredibly painful. So, this ritual was performed on those of evil who were meant to be banished, and those of good who were attempting to evolve into a higher sort of state of existence.
So that's the ritual we are looking for. Got it.
And the book ends with the hope that someone will find this library and rebuild the world, as there is doubt that any will survive the turbulence that is accompanied by the extrusion of the elemental forces.
Are these people the ones who used to live here?
So it would seem. About how much time?
That's what happened to the city.
How much time do I think I have left in the potion?
I'd say it's probably running out by the time you get to the end of this book.
That's what happened to the city. The elemental forces, the water?
The world was reshaped when the planes were created. And those
All
forces
those
were
people.
gone.
And they did want someone to find the library. When they referred to that, the beholder referred to the elemental plane of fire as he.
He seemed to know how this was all done.
Well, if he was truly omniscient, he must have known about it. I wish we could ask him now. Not that he would probably answer. But these markings are symbols of the different outer planes.
Mhm.
A representation of some kind?
So it would seem a being, whoever these people were made into the planes themselves.
When we entered that space, the one where we all lost ourselves for a moment.
Mhm.
I don't know what you experienced. Perhaps this sounds perfectly insane, but for a moment I felt as if I was that plane.
I
could feel it, the gears turning. It was painful when one was stuck. I could feel what felt like the whole plane.
I know.
Is that crazy?
I know the feeling you're describing. Just
Is it possible for a moment that we
You
were
tapped-
just...
tapped into that experience.
Yes. That we
Uh,
became the plane itself?
It's certainly a possibility. I don't know for what reason we would have been given these marks. I feel the potion slipping away.
It's all right.
Just one more thing. She's gonna hold Salira's face, and in Celestial, Tibi du Alternum. And just give her a kiss.
What does that mean?
That is for me to know, and you to find out.
That's not fair.
That's where we're gonna take a break.
Oh no, an imposter snuck in.
Lore! Oh my gosh!